Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Be Righteous from Identity, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to get OP early, and with that you can get this legendary Mantis spacesuit. It's called the Incendiary Mantis spacesuit. Also a ship that's insanely fast. It's way better than the initial ship that you start out with, and it's very easy to get this stuff. I mean, it's high risk, high reward because the area you go into, the enemies are like 30 levels higher than you. So you just have to play meticulous and smart and you'll be able to get it. And the way that you get this is early on during your first main mission. Once you get to the main planet, when you talk to Sarah, I'm not going to really spoil anything for you, but during the mission you go to an abandoned space station, and this is where the start of the side mission begins, where you get this legendary gear. And I will tell you that you need this early on because there's so many side missions and places to go in Starfield that you want to be armed at least enough to handle a little bit more than harder difficulties. This armor in this ship will definitely help you do that. So when you go to this abandoned space station, there'll be spacers and enemies that are fighting, which you will have to kill. Make sure you loot all the bodies because this is where you find a recording that has the location of a secret outpost. And by the way, there are a lot of other things on these enemies, like a chameleon helmet. There's tons of gear in this abandoned space station. So you're definitely going to want to come back and farm this area. But for now, just focus on this, because once you get this armor, you're going to be set for a long time. Okay, so once you get this recording, and once you activate it, it's going to prompt the side mission and tell you where the location is, which is in a place called the Nova Galactic Star Yard. Remember that name. You're going to have to grav jump to a couple different systems. Is located in the Sol system, and here is where you can get your legendary armor and ship. This place is high risk, high reward. Like I said, as soon as I landed on there, there was a level 38 enemy and level 14 spacer that rushed me. Luckily, you could blow the enemy up and one-shot him, and there's a weapon case right there that has like an epic weapon. This is really cool stuff, right? Because this has nothing to do with the main story. It's just something that can get you OP early. So what you basically have to do is make your way through this secret outpost, and they have all high-level enemies. They have robots, and I think the robots were the most difficult enemies to get through. And as you're going through here, you're gonna want to loot a lot of stuff, right? But as I said, focus on what you need to get right now, because you can always come back and farm this area when you can have better inventory management, because you'll be over encumbered if you try and pick up everything. So just focus on the goal at hand. And as you're going through, make sure you loot the bodies for audio recordings. That's it, because there's going to be an area that has all these dead bodies laying around and a whole bunch of letters on the ground, and they got killed by the turrets across the way, which will destroy you if you make a mistake. So I'm just going to tell you how to do this, because the audio recordings are what told me. You have to step on the correct letters on the floor in order to make it across without activating the turrets. So you have to spell out the word Tyrannus, and make sure you tell your companion to sit back while you're doing that, because he or she can activate a different letter and the turrets will turn on and destroy both of you. So once you spell out Tyrannus as you traverse across the letters, then you make it to the other area where the robots are. This is a little bit difficult because I fought these two robots that had a hard time fighting. As I said, this is high risk, high reward, but it's really worth it, right? So after you get past the robots is when you get into the room where this armor is in the ship. You don't even have to kill the robot that's in there. He'll warn you a little bit saying this area is off limits, but as long as you run past him really quick and get to the armor, you're good. And the legendary ship is in the room that you initially came into. A quick tip before I go. I implore you to save along the way as you're playing this, because you could get reset to the beginning if you don't. So if you like kill a robot and it was a really hard fight, then make sure you save after that so you won't have to start over and just avoid a headache. Also, when you go to that abandoned space station before you get here, there are going to be fragmentation mines, grenades. Save all of those for the fight at the secret outpost, because you're going to need them for these robots. I made that mistake. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I highly suggest that you get this armor and ship, because the ship is insanely fast, which I noticed off rip. I like how fast it is, and I haven't really explored it much more, but it's a legendary ship and legendary armor. It looks cool, and the fact that it can set enemies on fire at a 10% chance is amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what else I can find, but this was my first video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out, and if it did, like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I'll catch you in the next one. Be right out.